like the Christians are with the historical Jesus, right?
That's
And
right.
why is
That's right.
that?
They say, well, because they know that the Jesus that is in the Bible was just a prophet, because that's all it could be. It can never be any more than that. It can never be the personal savior of all of mankind. That's ridiculous. You know, I mean, if he was, well, then he should have hung around for a long time and gone to every culture and been genuinely interested in the Chinese people, the Mayans, and everybody for that matter, not just the Jews, which are not even a race. That's an invention, pure fiction. There's never been a race of Jews. Jew is a caste. Hebrew is a caste. Israelite is a caste. Christian is a caste. They're not they're not races. You know, there's no such Christian race. You know, I'm Italian, and Italians belong to Christianity. So do the Latinos. So do the Greeks. So do the Russians. But you can't say that Christians are Russians, and you can't say that Jews are Israelites. It's just caste. There's different castes of spirituality, and it's a Freemasonic system. The highest caste is the Hebrew, then the Jew, then the Israelite, and guess who's the bottom? The bottom feeders are the Christians. They always have been. They've always been considered to be the buffoons who they give the husks, not the kernels of the truth. They give them the outside shells, like you give, to pigs and to swine. You give them the husk of the grain, and you keep the grain to make your own bread. You don't give the grain to your pigs. You give them the outer shell that's useless, and they love it. And this is what you give to the pigs that go to church, the animals, because that's what they are. They're considered as animals. That's why the priests are pedophiles and they abuse little children. And that's why they teach all their putrid lies in the 30,000 different Christian churches that there are on this planet. Because they're teaching a lie. and if the people are idiots enough to go into church with pockets full of cash to put in the donation boxes, well, then they're going to treat them like animals, because that's what they are. They haven't saved themselves. They're going to church. They keep going to church to get their asses saved. Well, they deserve to be abused, and they deserve to have half-truths spewed into their ears and vomited out of the platform of these churches. These idiots that stand on these platforms like Benny Hinn and Jimmy Swaggart and all these absolute swine of animalistic human beings that, talk about Jesus and you have to be saved in the Baptist church, or you have to be saved in the Jehovah's Witness church, and all of these buffoons. They're all living in limbo. They're all living in purgatory. These are hellish human beings that have no ascension at all.
Santos, over the weekend I also visited a museum. I was in Quito, in the capital of Ecuador, and I saw that there was in the evening a lecture on the end of the world, and that was the title of the lecture. So I figured, it was kind of interesting. Let me go see what was going on in there. And they had this doctor, what do you call these? What do you call the guys that study the astronomy? An astronomer. And he was going to show how this whole thing of astrology and the tarot and this Mayan calendar was all just a farce, because apart from him not being too good of a presenter in his material, it didn't really make sense what he was saying. His argument wasn't as valid as other people's arguments may be, But he said something that he goes, how can we believe, just to divert ourselves a little bit from this topic, but he says, how can you believe that a planet can influence you when, the light of certain planets or certain galaxies, their suns and so forth, have not even reached our planet? And they won't even reach for, 200,000 more years. So he says, how can you believe that can have an effect on you? Can you answer that?
Well, first of all, some of these consensus idiots that stand up on their little soapboxes with all their ignorance and opinions and denounce astrology as a pseudoscience, don't understand that the universe is mind, and that the bodies that we see out there, whatever it is, there's life everywhere, even in the space. And all of those bodies, like the sun and the moon, they are creatures. The moon is a being. It's a sentient being with feelings and psyche and soul and spirit. And so is the earth. The earth is a being. She's a dodecahedron. She's a crystal. And all crystals are beings. They're living organic forms with carbon, and they all have mind and thinking. They are all beings. So if this guy thinks that, that the sun is just